All right, welcome back to Bring It to the Table. I'm Hunter Hoffman.
Seth Warren.
I'm Cameron Bond.
And today we're not going to do any college football games because we couldn't pick any. So we're going to go right off the bat with a debate. We're going to do, is Carson Wentz better than Dak Prescott? And no, me and Cameron feel very strong about this one. So Cameron, you start off.
No, he's not.
Okay.
I think right now there's more evidence leaning over towards Dak Prescott than there is Carson Wentz. Sure, Wentz is 8-1 this year, but Dak also led his team to the playoffs in his first year. What did Carson Wentz do last year?
Didn't make the playoffs.
And I think right now Dak has less weapons than Carson Wentz did. I mean, he's down.
He has
left
less
tackle.
weapons. He has one of the best running games in the NFL.
Is he playing right now?
He was playing the season last year. If you just talked about last year,
I'm talking about right now.
You just talked about last year. I'm talking about last year too. Ezekiel Elliott was the best running back in the NFL last year, and he had him backing up. That's why they got to the playoffs. Is the run game, not no passing game.
So Dak Prescott did nothing last year.
I mean, not as much as Carson Wentz is doing now. Carson Wentz is better.
If Tony Romo would have been healthy, they would have made the playoffs. Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is really, really good, dude.
I do agree. I agree Dak's good, but I think last year Dak was able to lean on his run game more than Carson can this year. I mean, yes, the Eagles have a good offensive line, but then you're missing Peters at left tackle, and I mean the offensive lines are decent. Don't get me wrong, but the Cowboys have the best offensive line in the NFL, and
they're down their left tackle right now.
Okay, but we can all agree that the Cowboys have the best offensive line, even without that left tackle. That's a stud. He's probably the best left tackle in the NFL.
I think actually the Titans might have a better offensive line right now.
No.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Seth. Okay, we're still going back to Dak Carson. So I think Carson's better because Carson, his first year, he didn't do as well as Dak, but I think Dak was able to lean on the run more. He also had one of the best receivers in the NFL, arguably. Dez, he's not the best, but he's up
spotty.
there. He's top 5. And he has Zeke, great offensive line. Defense was pretty good. And Carson this year, if you look, he's had just as many weapons as Dak had last year. Maybe even a worse offensive line, a worse run game. But he has had more weapons with Alshon Jeffrey, Torrey Smith,
He also doesn't have Dez Bryant.
He also doesn't have Dez
Bryant.
Dez
Bryant can catch everything.
I mean, he's been playing on a bad ankle too, Dez Bryant, but I think you're basing too much off these 9 games. I really think you are. I mean, last year, nobody was talking about Carson Wentz the way they are this year. Sure, 9 games, he looked really good, but that's 9 games.
But I mean,
that's 9 games.
They could
very well lose 5 games, end 11-6 or 10-6, and end up losing the first round of the playoffs. I mean, sure, they're 8-1 right now, look like the best team in the league, but there's a long way to go. And I think you can't just not throw Jared Goff in this talk, man.
I think those are top 3 young quarterbacks.
Last year, he looked bad last year, but he got thrown to the Wolves. He started maybe the 4th or so game. But
the Rams are looking good.
And Jeff Fisher's not a very good head coach, but now they got Sean McVay. I mean, look what they've done. They're one of the better teams in the league right now, sitting at 7-2. So I think he's thrown in this talk with Dak, Carson Wentz, and now Jared Goff.
But my thing with all 3 of those quarterbacks, 2 of those quarterbacks have a very, very good run game, and one still has a shaky run game. You have Dak with Zeke, even though Zeke's suspended now. You have Jared with Todd Gurley, and now you have Carson Wentz with LeGarrette Blount or Jay Ajayi. Ajayi, like we've all heard people say that he might be hurt. You never know.
But also, you got to think about this. The Rams wouldn't have the highest scoring offense in the NFL just because of Todd Gurley. Mm-hmm. And you got to look at it. Dak's got Dez Bryant, Cole Beasley, who's pretty good, Terrence Williams, Bryce Butler, Carson Wentz, Nelson Aguilar. He's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. He stepped up.
Alshon Jeffrey. Zach Ertz, one of the better tight ends in football. And you look at Carson Wentz, Jared Goff.
Okay, but you got to look at this now.
With Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp. I mean, he's dealing with below to average wide receivers, and other teams have above average.
But you have to look at this. Zach Ertz, number-wise, without Carson Wentz, horrible. Carson Wentz in there, he's top tight end.
I know, I'm just saying.
Carson he makes that Eagle offense go, just like any other.
So out of the 3, who would you pick? Goff, Prescott, or Wentz? To start on your team.
To start a franchise?
Any team.
Start a franchise. Goff,
who'd you pick?
Carson, or Dak?
Right now, I'd probably go Carson Wentz.
Okay. I'd go Carson Wentz as well.
Go Carson.
So, yeah.
All right.
All that for nothing.
What about the long run, though?
Long run, I'd still go with Carson.
I think if you build a team around Goff, I think Goff's going to be really, really good.
In the future, Goff's probably going to be the best quarterback in the league.
If they keep Sean McVay, I'm telling you, I mean, they weren't a good team last year, weren't even in the contention for the playoffs, and now they're sitting at 7-2 atop the NFC West.
But I mean,
they've got a couple of tests coming up. They got the Vikings and the Saints back to back. So if they win those 2 games,
which also the Eagles have the Rams week 14, which will be a very.
That's
going to
be a good game in the NFC.
I think week 12, week 13 they have the Seahawks sometime. So we'll see.
They should blow out the Cowboys this weekend without.
All right, and now we're gonna do our final four for the college football playoff. Cameron, you go.
All right, now I'm not going on resume here. I'm going on head-to-head who I think is going to win. So at 1, I got Oklahoma. And the only reason I'm taking Oklahoma, they're a spotty team. They'll show up one game and pretty much blow out anybody that play, or they could show up and get beat by Iowa State like we saw. But I'm taking Baker Mayfield over anybody. I mean, he's the best quarterback in college football, hands down, no competition. Lamar Jackson's good, but I think Baker Mayfield is just a lot better than him passing. So I think if I put Baker Mayfield on the field against any defense, he's going to put up numbers. They got the best offense in college football, so that's why I'm putting them at 1 right now. Resume aside, number 2, I got Alabama. They got some injuries, so they're spotty right now. They have injuries. Yeah, at middle linebacker and linebacker, they've got some injuries. But resume, I put them at 1. But head-to-head, I got Oklahoma 1, Alabama 2, and then 3, Miami. I didn't expect them to blow out Notre Dame this weekend. I thought Notre Dame would win that game, but their defense flies to the ball. They're good defense. Offensively, they do enough. And then 4th, I got Clemson. Kelly Bryant's getting healthy. He's staying healthy. And if he stay healthy, they'll be a good team down the stretch. Miami, Clemson, elimination game, ACC championship. And outside of my top 4 or 5, Auburn. Your team is coming back. So.
Yep.
But can they follow up against Bama? That's the real question. Can they follow up against Bama?
That'll be the key.
If they follow up against Bama, beat Bama, and then they beat Georgia in the SEC championship, they're in. Even though
they're
2
number
losses,
1.
They're not number 1.
They're number 1 if they do that, in my opinion. I don't care about the 2 losses.
If they do that, I think Oklahoma still goes in at 1.
But Auburn, and then Wisconsin, their schedule's shaky. But if they beat Michigan this weekend and can beat Ohio State in the Big Ten championship, I think they should be in at 13-0. But we'll see how it plays out.
All right, my 4 is going to be number 1, Alabama, the most consistent team in college football throughout however many weeks we've gone through. Number 2, Miami. Miami, the undefeated number, the 0 in the loss column I like the most out of anything, but their defense, their turnovers. I talked so much about how much they create turnovers. They did it against Notre Dame. They've done it against every team the past 2 weeks. They've shown that, in my opinion, they're the number 2 team in the country. At number 3, I got Oklahoma. As you said, probably the best offense in the country with the best quarterback in the country. In my opinion, the Heisman winner, like there's no discussion about it. The reason that I'm iffy on putting them at 1 or 2 like you did is because their defense. Their defense, each top 10 team in the country right now in the college football playoff is top 15 in defensive efficiency except for Oklahoma. So that's really interesting to me. I'm still got them at number 3 just because they're the best offense in the country. And at number 4, I got Clemson. Clemson with Kelly Bryant, the offense, I think once they get that running game involved as well, it's just going to be unstoppable offensively. Defensively is a whole nother level. They're probably top 5 in the country as well. My 2 out is going to be number 5, Wisconsin. I agree with the committee, 5 Wisconsin, just because of the undefeated number. I almost put them in my 4, but you have to put resume in as well with their shaky
Plus
schedule.
head-to-head, I don't think they're better than those 4 teams either.
No. We'll see. You don't know. If they do get 13-0, we'll see how they fare against the 4. But number 6, of course, my team, Auburn. I picked them to win the national championship. I think they eventually would, not eventually, but if they do beat Alabama and they do beat Georgia, there's no doubt in my mind they're in. And in my opinion, if they do beat those 2 teams, they're going to be such on a roll that they can win the national championship. They can win the whole thing.
All right, my number 1 team, I'm going to Alabama. I still like Jalen Hurts. That Mississippi State game, he stepped up in the 4th quarter, and you see him take command of that offense, and everybody else was celebrating for the touchdown to put him ahead, and Jalen Hurts went right back to business, went back, figured out what they did wrong on offense. I like Jalen Hurts a lot. The defense, shaky middle linebacker. I think they'll regroup against a good Auburn team.
Just plug 5 stars in there. I mean, they got talent on all over the place.
And then 2, Miami. That undefeated, that 0, I think that defense might be better than Alabama's. That is a very good defense. Turnovers, I mean, they're just set on defense. 3, I still like Oklahoma. Baker Mayfield, that offense is just it's almost like an Oklahoma State offense. Like it's just it's unbelievable how good he is. And my number 4 is Clemson. Kelly Bryant starting to get healthy. I think I agree with Seth that Syracuse loss didn't really mean anything without him. It was a hard fought game. But my number 5 and number 6 team. Honestly, 5, I like Ohio State over Wisconsin. Eventually, like not now, but I think end of the season, I think you're going to see Ohio State 5, 6, Georgia. I do not want to count the Georgia Bulldogs out of this yet. They are still very good run game, very good offense, very good defense still. I don't want to count them out. They have the SEC East is theirs. They're going to play in the SEC Championship against a very good Bama team or a very good Auburn team, which are both going to be very high by that point.
Okay, so if they do, they will get to the championship. Who would
Okay.
you rather play if you were Georgia, Alabama or Auburn?
Auburn.
No, because when I saw in the Georgia and Auburn game is there's no way Georgia can even come close to what Auburn brings to the table against them. And I would rather play Alabama right now if I was Georgia.
The only thing that worries me about Georgia now after this weekend is that was the first elite front seven they've seen, and Chubb and Michelle got just put under corral. No, they didn't do anything in that game. So I think teams we put in their top 4 outside of Oklahoma have elite front sevens. So that worries me about Georgia, but we all have a consistent top 4, just shuffled in order a little bit.
All right, I'm Hunter Hoffman,
I'm Seth Hoffman.
And I'm Cameron Hoffman.
and this has been Bring It to the Table.
Bring it to the table.
I'm going to say respect.
You say you're Hunter Bond. You say you're Seth.
I'm not saying
you say you're
that.
Seth Hoffman. I'll say I'm
Get
Cameron
this out of
Hoffman.
your head.
No, Cameron Warren.
Yeah, Cameron
Dude,
Warren.
give me my hair tie back.
Stop, let's go.
Do it.
No, I'm not doing it. My name is Hunter
Bro,
Hoffman.
that's not even my hair tie. What do you think? I'm a girl?
I don't care.
Go.
Izzy.
I'm
Do
not hair tie. Welcome back to Bring It to the Table.
No,
My
I'm
name's
not
Hunter Hoffman. All right, welcome back to Bring It to the Table. I'm Hunter Hoffman.
Wait, I thought we were doing you're a Hunter Bond, and I'm Seth Hoffman.
All right, welcome back to Bring It to the Table. I'm Hunter Hoffman.
You're a Hunter Bond.
No, Seth, just
Seth,
go with your real
stop!
name.
All right, welcome back to Bring It to the Table. I'm Hunter Hoffman.
I'm Seth Hoffman.
I know.
In order.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3.
And yeah. All right. 1, 2, 3,
You start talking.
4.
I literally go off the top of my head with all this. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
me
think
too.
about it. Like right here, right now, I have no idea who I'm gonna put 1, 2, 3, 4. I know who I'm
I
going
got a
one.
discussion topic.
2,
One of them going Bama. obviously.
3.
I'll go ahead and say something else after that. If that's all right.
All right, come on, Seth.
But the reason that they could not still get in, they have Oklahoma State coming up this week or next week. They have Oklahoma State coming up. But it's the defense that's gotten them in trouble against Iowa State. Their defensive efficiency. What? Why are you laughing? You're ruining everything.
Oklahoma played Oklahoma State a while
Yeah.
ago, buddy. That was
What?
like 3 weeks.
That's why-
Oklahoma played Oklahoma
Wait.
State like 3 weeks ago.
That's why I just said. Mm.
Wait, who do they play then? Who do they play? I
don't
know it's a
know.
big game.
It's like
It was
Kansas State, dude.
no,
They
when
played
they
Kansas State a
play
couple
Oklahoma
weeks
State?
Like 4 weeks ago.
Hey guys,
You just messed it up. Jack, you have no room to talk. Your hair was silver for a good 2 months.
All right.
Shut up, Marissa.
Hey, would you like?
Did I even say anything?
Yeah.
Like, stupid, brickhead.
It had no case on it.
I don't care. Let's go.
Can you check my phone, please? Someone?
can you take my
Justin.
please?
But the Syracuse loss is probably why I'm not putting them in the top 2. What?
Your throat made a sound. Did you hear that? His throat.
Okay. And we'll just start with me. All right. And then 4, I still like.
What?
Who do you
I
still
don't know.
like?
I just had a.
Who do you still like?
My brain just stopped working.
If you
for
play
a
Kim's,
minute.
if you
I was gonna
play,
say-
if you.
All right, is that it? Is that it?
Sound us out.
Yeah.
Sound us out, baby.
Hey.
All right, I'm Hunter Hoffman.
No.
Hey, me and you will shake it up.
Okay,
Say
what
you're
do-
Seth Bond.
I'm Seth Hoffman.
All right, I'm Hunter Hoffman.
I'm Seth Hoffman.
And I'm Cameron Hoffman. No.
Just
Hey.
call this a relaxed episode.
Alex, come here. I don't know which one. I'm
Don't
picking
mess it
2. Should I say it?
Yeah, yeah. My name is Seth. Yeah, you know I'm bad. Yeah, you
Which
know
one should I do?
I'm
First or
glad.
second one?
Yeah, my wife is Izzy. Yeah, she is so sexy. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, she is so sexy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Everybody now.